a great film. Rambo, Last Blood is definitely an interesting time to watch. I would say if you're a huge Rambo fan, you owe it to yourself at least check this movie out. It's not great, but it's definitely worth your time. I don't understand why this film got bashed so much by critics. I mean, it's not a great film, but it's certainly not terrible either. I had a fun time watching this movie. Sylvester Stallone did a good job playing Rambo. Even though we all thought his last film with this franchise came out 2008, this movie here focuses on Rambo having a niece. She goes to Mexico. She gets kidnapped by the cartel and sold into prostitution. And it's up to Rambo to go down there and save her. I have to say, there are elements of Taken in this film and Home Alone. And I find that very interesting because I didn't think they would put those type of elements in a film like this. This is definitely not a character-driven story. And certainly this movie is probably the most violent it's been. But if you're a big action movie buff like I am, then you will enjoy this movie. There's not a whole lot of motivation in terms of what Rambo does in this film. But, this movie has a little bit of a sad part in it. But other than that, this film was lacking a little bit more in the story. But if you're just looking for a good action popcorn flick, then this film is for you. Even though the action doesn't pick up till later in the film, it's definitely worth the price of admission alone. I always thought the Rambo films was action first, story second. That's definitely the case in this movie. Like I said before in my past reviews, if a movie doesn't have a great story overall, then it suffers for it just a tad bit. And I felt like this film also came 11 years too late. I mean, you found out what Rambo's been doing in the beginning of the film, and then he just goes back to his old ways after everything that happens. And it's not much of a character evolution. Maybe in the past Rambo films it was, but here it isn't. For those looking for a more intelligent film, you're not going to find in this movie but a average action film. I really felt like this film could have been just something a little bit more, but with a movie like this, it definitely will hold you over for a particular weekend. Alright, I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. I just thought this movie was average. Had this film came out about a couple of years ago with a better written script, even a little bit more acting, I would have rated it higher. But that's the case with these Rambo films. That if you're gonna only do them to make money, then you're doing it wrong. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the Rambo movies, but this is definitely a Rambo film I had enjoyed. And even though it's not better than part 1 and 2, I certainly would put it up there probably high on the list. Check this film out because you definitely have to check it out for yourself, especially if you're a Rambo fan. I've always been a fan of Sylvester Stallone, but I definitely think it's one of his weaker movies. Like I said before, no way do I think this is a bad film, but it's certainly missing something special to push you over the edge into greatness. I don't know, maybe in the next film, if they make one, that will happen. And that's my review of Rambo Last Blood. Okay, leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think about this film if you've seen it. And also, what is your favorite Rambo films from worst to best? This film here, even though it got bashed by critics, a lot of people seem to have enjoyed it. And I'm certainly wondering if there's going to be a Rambo 6. Honestly, if you ask me, no, they shouldn't make another Rambo film because then you're milking the franchise to death. Look at the Terminator films, for example. It started off great, But then it got horrible over time, and I kind of felt like that was beginning to happen to this franchise. This franchise been here for over 35 years, but I honestly think they should end it right here with this film. Don't make any more Rambo films because then it becomes redundant. Alright, this is Slum Guy 172 saying, peace out.